All right, we're live.
Okay. Well, hello. Thank you guys for joining in. I'm gonna go ahead and start this off for the Boerne ISD. And it's 7 p.m. Sorry.
6
6
p.m.
p.m. Look, I'm still on my board thing time. So anyway, good evening and welcome to Meet the Candidates running for Boerne ISD. This event is hosted by the Fair Oaks Ranch Homeowners Association. My name is Teal Harris, and I'm the FORHA Secretary and Co-Chair of the FORHA Nominating Committee, and I'll be hosting tonight's event. I'm joined tonight by Todd Terry, one of our fellow nominators, Shelley Neighbors, our FORHA Business Operations Manager.
Professionals like firefighters and police, and they'll be stationed at various different positions.
There you go. Okay. Yeah, muted. And Jessica, who's our assistant manager. And thank you everyone for joining us online this evening. And want to extend a special thank you to Michael Etheridge and Rich Cena for making the time to meet with us and the residents of Fair Oaks Ranch. And so they can have an opportunity to get to know you and as the candidates running for our school board of trustees. This event will begin with each candidate taking 3 minutes to introduce themselves and provide an opening statement about themselves. We flipped a coin earlier and Rich is going to start that. After introductions, we'll go straight into our question and answer portion of the evening. For this evening's event, we requested questions from the membership, and we also have questions in sealed envelopes that our candidates will choose when it's their turn to answer first. In each envelope, there are 3 copies of the same question, one for myself to read aloud for the membership and a copy for each candidate. Each candidate will be asked the same questions with 2 minutes to answer, and we will alternate who goes first after each question. The 2-minute timer will start when the candidate begins their answer. When that candidate's time is up, we will pause for a moment to give the time monitor a moment to reset. These are our time monitors. And then the other candidate will answer the same question. We'll try to get through as many questions as time allows, but be sure to leave enough. And that's my phone. Sorry. Let's turn that off. Good song.
Good song, yeah.
We will get through as many questions as time allows, but be sure to leave enough time so that each candidate has the opportunity for a 2-minute closing statement. Whichever candidate goes first, which is Rich, the next candidate, he'll go last in the closing statement. So whichever candidate goes second for their opening statement will have the opportunity to go first for the closing statement. This event is being recorded and the recording will be available on the FORHA website once we've had the opportunity to get it posted. Thanks again to everyone in attendance this evening, and with further ado, let's begin. I think everybody that's waiting is logged in. And so we'll go ahead and start with Rich, and let's make sure the timers are all ready to go. The readers on your head. Yeah.
That's big enough. We're okay. You ready?
Okay.
I'm ready.
Thank you, Rich.
Hey, good evening, everybody. My name is Rich Sena. I'm currently on the Boerne ISD Board of Trustees. And Shelley, Todd, Teal, and Jessica, I really appreciate the opportunity to come and share our views on the issues that affect Boerne ISD and our future. I will start off by saying it has been a complete honor to serve as a trustee for Boerne ISD. It is a true labor of love. I love volunteering for our schools. And as a first-generation American, I was taught many, many things by my parents. First was always to love America unconditionally and always be grateful for the opportunities that we've been given in this great country to move ahead and advance and excel. And one of the things about giving back to the community that I've served in many ways over the years is I'm currently a board member of the Hill Country Pregnancy Care Center. I'm a Sunday school teacher at my church at Curry Creek. I'm a past president and current member of the Boerne Sunrise Rotary. I write an occasional column for the Boerne Star. And a number of years back, I was a board member for the Hill Country Mission for Health. So I believe in serving and giving back to the community. And on the school board, I serve as the chairman of the Legislative Advocacy Committee. I serve on the Finance Committee and also the Facilities Committee. So we keep very busy doing that. You can have great roads, great parks, But if you don't have a great public school system, you will never thrive as a community to be the very best you can. So it's essential that we maintain excellence in Boerne ISD. And let me share with you some of the accomplishments we're most proud of. We are one of only 31 school districts out of 1,200 in the state that has maintained an A rating by the Texas Education Agency for every year since the inception of the program. Recently, we launched 2 P-Tech academies. That stands for Pathway Technology, Early College High School. We have an early college health career. We have an early college cybersecurity. And within 2 years, almost a quarter of our students will graduate not just with a high school diploma, but an associate's degree, saving them and their families literally thousands of dollars. School districts are rated on their level of career, college, or military readiness. Our rate is 95%, which is way higher than the state average of 82%. And we have an in excess of a 99% graduation rate. And we have a thing called the Boerne Academy, which offers an alternative path. And that is our way of keeping kids in the system
Yeah, and you can use,
He has only.
oh, yeah, I'm
How
sorry.
much time do I have left?
30 seconds.
Okay, well,
Sorry.
I'll wrap it up. We've lowered the maintenance and operations tax rate by 33%. I was honored to testify multiple times for property tax relief. We pay off our debt early, we refinance it at lower interest rates, and we were strong advocates for improved teacher pay in the last session. And we were able to offer some $6,500 raise to the average teacher this year alone. So we've accomplished a lot more to do.
Thank you. Sorry about that. I cut you
problem.
off on that. Obviously, I.
Now we know.
The red's, yeah, the red's a little misleading. You still got a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Still have your, 30 seconds. Yeah.
Okay. So, Michael, go ahead. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you, you guys for setting this up, and thank you to the Fair Exchange citizens and whatnot for tuning in. I appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate the opportunity to visit with everyone. My name is Michael Etheridge. I am running for Boerne ISD School Board Place 7. I'm not a career politician. I'm a product of this district. I graduated from Boerne High School in 2006, back when there was just Boerne High School.
Yeah.
We didn't have, I get asked which school I went to. Well, there was only one back then. I grew up here. I went to school here. The teachers in Boerne ISD had a direct impact on my life. And over the years, I've tried to give back by mentoring students, which I was visiting with some of my students earlier today, and I'm going to be with them tomorrow as they put on their pitch for the Incubator EDU program. I stay involved in our school through different avenues. Professionally, I'm a business owner and a publisher. I read numbers for a living. I ask questions and I hold people accountable when things don't add up. And right now, there are some things in this district that don't add up. We're seeing strong growth, but that growth hasn't translated the way it should into the classroom, especially for our teachers. That's not an opinion. That's coming from Boerne ISD's own data. So what I want the voters to know is simple. I'm running to bring a higher standard to the board, fiscal discipline, transparency, and a clear focus on teachers and students. I met with some folks last night, a group of parents that came that I've never met before. I was honored to meet them. And the one common theme I got from them was they just want someone that'll listen. They've approached the board, they've approached staff, they've even had meetings with superintendents over the years, and they feel like their comments continue to fall on deaf ears. I'm committed to being accessible and transparent and being an ear for those teachers, those parents, everybody that feels unheard right now. I've made 3 commitments in this campaign. I will never vote to raise your already high property taxes. I will serve no more than 2 terms, and I will never stop fighting for our teachers. That's who I am, and that's how I plan to serve.
Thank you very much. So in our nice technical way here, I'm going first. And I'll flip the coin again.
Yeah.
And I'll let you choose heads or tails.
Hold on, I'm not ready.
Well,
Well, yeah.
So go ahead. heads or
Sorry,
tails?
I'll pick heads.
Okay. Flip again, so you can tell me if it's heads or tails. We'll tell you on the bottom.
Tails. Ah,
It's tails, so you'll go first.
Oh, so I pick a question.
You pick a
Yes, sir.
question.
All
Yep.
right,
I can help you reach it.
let's pick the one in the middle.
This one?
Yeah, sure, why not? Let's
You
check
want
it
to
out.
open it and get the question?
Yes. They're stapled, so just pull,
Yeah,
yeah, you got the hard copy and we got paper copies. Perfect. All right. This timer will work the same. It's just gonna have a little bit shorter time on it.
So Rich is going to go first, and I'm gonna read the question. Why run? Is that
It's 2 minutes, right? He was asking.
Yes,
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
2
You'll
minutes?
get-
Yes, 2 minutes, yes. You
But-
ready?
No, let Teal read the
I'm
question.
gonna read the
Yeah.
question and then,
Mhm.
yeah, sorry.
We'll get it.
We're running.
Yeah.
Why run? Why are you running for the school board and what experience do you bring to the table?
Well, I'm running for a real simple reason. I'm passionate about education. I'm passionate about public education. Neither of my parents knew the English language when they started in school in America. My dad graduated with a master's degree. My mom was salutatorian of her high school and completed college. Education was stressed in our family, and I want to give back and continue to give back to the community that educated my children for all 13 years. Now I've got 2 grandchildren that in a couple of years will be entering Boerne ISD schools. As far as experience goes, I've run businesses before. I am a current business owner. I've had managerial responsibility for several hundred employees, $45 million budgets. I'm very used to financial management. And in the school board, I've really focused on finance. We have a lot of awards from the state for financial excellence and financial responsibility. We manage our budgets routinely, while 60% of the districts in the state are experiencing deficits. But I bring experience. 4 of our 7 trustees have less than 3 years on the board. So I want to use my last term to help mentor them, develop them, guide them, and so they can be built up and get ready for the next generation to lead our community. But whether it's legislative advocacy, which I am extremely involved with, and I would add, I have the endorsement of every single one of the 4 legislators that represent our district in the Texas Senate and the Texas House. I'm used to working with them. We have relationships. So I want to put that experience to work for the benefit of our students, our teachers, and our taxpayers.
Thank you. And let's get this reset. Okay, and Michael, go ahead.
Thank you. One of the reasons I wanted to run is, growing up here, I continue to interact with a lot of the teachers that I had that are still teaching and have made friends with a lot of the new ones. Over the last decade, district revenue has increased by about 83%. Our enrollment is up by about 48%, but during that time, district debt has increased 120%. At the same time, our teacher salaries have only increased by 14%. If you take the average teacher salary that's reported to TEA in 2014-2015 school year, you take the average teacher salary reported to TEA in the 24-25 school year, and you subtract one from the other and divide it by the smaller number, you get 13.5% increase. So our teachers are falling behind inflation, they're falling behind average salaries outside of the district, normal jobs, and they're falling way behind in housing costs. Housing costs in the area are up 120% in the same year, the same time frame. Those numbers tell a story. There was a time when Boerne ISD was known for paying teachers above the state average, $2,500 roughly. Today, they're paid below the state average, about $4,200 below the state average. That should concern everybody watching, everybody voting. Our teachers are the single most important factor in student success. When we talk about investing in education, the first place that investment should go is in the classroom, to our teachers, to the people standing in front of our students every day. That's why I'm running.
Thank you very much.
When she does that, you wanna pick
You
your
wanna pick
question?
I'll pick this one.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and read the question, accountability. And this is going to Michael first. Accountability, how will you ensure the district is accountable for student achievements, particularly in closing achievement gaps?
Great question. And this one's pretty simple, really. To ensure accountability in student achievement and for closing any achievement gaps, we have to recruit and retain the best teachers. This, my campaign goes back, you'll hear my message over and over again, that we have to have the best teachers in the classroom. And the only way we do that you know, the state has put so many mandates and so many requirements on the teachers these days. The only way to equalize it is through pay. And our teachers, like I mentioned, have fallen behind in pay locally. They've fallen behind against the state average. They're falling behind against their peers. I talked with a Boerne ISD teacher today who was interviewing to go work in Comfort because she can make a better salary and work fewer days per week. So they only do a 4-day work week over there. And they're just kind of at a point where they have to leave. So the only way we achieve student success is well, not the only way, but the most prominent way we achieve student success is strong teachers. We recruit and retain the best teachers. We have fantastic teachers right now. But as Mr. Senna and the board talked about last year, we have a significant turnover rate. We're losing a lot of teachers. The average teacher in Boerne ISD is about 11 to 12 years tenure. And the more we keep that experience, the better. But the current pay structure that we have penalizes experience. We've given bigger raises to brand new teachers, so we're recruiting new teachers, but we're not rewarding the teachers that have been there the longest. So that's the simple answer there. Best teachers in the classrooms.
Thank you.
Okay, ready to go?
Yeah.
Great, good question. Over the past 7, 8 years, we have dramatically improved and increased teacher development. We've developed leadership training programs for internal promotions to assistant principal, teacher coaches, principal levels. When you talk about achievement gaps, what our district's been able to do is dramatically decrease the achievement gap between different socioeconomic groups. The state expects 36% of students to improve in those that are considered emerging bilingual or lower income. Our improvement rate is closer to 70%. We do a much, much better job in terms of closing the achievement gap. And we do that through a lot of hard work, a lot of focus, a lot of individualized attention. That's really, really key. But I want to take a moment to really miscorrect, and I'm actually very disappointed in Michael because he continues with this 14% over the last 12 years. If you were to add up the annual raises that have been given by the board to our teachers, compound that, add in the teacher retention allotment, which we strongly advocated for, I testified for it multiple times at the legislature, and the voter-approved local increase in teacher pay, which gave an extra $2,200 in compensation to the average teacher, it's 41% over the last 12 years, not 14. And Michael actually opposed the local effort last year to increase teacher pay. I supported it because we had already done a very, very good job in reducing the tax rate by 33% over the last 6 years. So we've been able to increase teacher pay at a much greater, 3 times the level he claims. So I wish you would correct that.
Okay, you can grab an envelope now.
Northeast, that one.
And, pardon?
I said you're northeast.
Yeah, and, you'll be going first this time. Rich.
Great.
Oh. Sorry. These are questions that we get. This question is teacher retention. What specific initiatives would you support to attract and retain high-quality teachers in our district? So.
Okay, ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, I mentioned in the last question, a lot of teacher development. When I was responsible for almost 200 salespeople in a previous career, the thing that they said more than anything else that motivated them was develop me, train me to be better at what I do. So we've invested a lot more money in teacher development. We've created pathways for our teachers. We have coaches now, which a teacher can move into after they've had good experience, where they can mentor new teachers. And this helps their skill level and their performance. And so we've created new pathways. We've created leadership training programs. It's important that people feel they have an opportunity to succeed over the long term. That's something I've done in my business career, and that's something we're doing as a school district. We took this year, due to the voter-approved local tax election, we took starting pay from 55,000 up to 60, and every grade above that also got increases, not to the extent of 5,000, but an average of 1,700 in salary and $500 in additional benefits. So we've made great progress in what we're able to do. We generally have a slightly lower turnover rate than the state average. And for every one teacher that we lose to Northside, which definitely pays more because they've got $3,000 more per student to spend than we do. State funding formulas limit what our district is able to spend. We have $3,000 less than the average district in the state of Texas, which makes it very challenging to do a lot of things. But we're an A-rated district. We accomplish an awful lot given the money we have. So we're very efficient in what we do.
Thank you. This is definitely piggybacks on the last question. And so, the number one motivator for any employee is a pay structure that treats them fairly, right?
Mhm.
I've been in different jobs before where we had tremendous workload, but low pay, and we weren't very motivated. As the pay increases, you get more motivated to continue working. And so Rich asked me to correct the data on my 14% claim. So I want to show you the data right here. This is the TEA taper that the district files every year. This is from 2014, 2015. The average teacher salary is $52,421. That was 10 years ago. This is the same report for 24, 25, and you see the average teacher salary is $59,491. Now, I learned my math in Boerne ISD. I have fantastic teachers, and so I want to commend them and compliment them for teaching me how math works. To calculate percentage change, you don't add up annual percentages. If that was the case, if we had seen 40% raises in the last 10, 15 years, we'd be over $70,000 rather than just at 59,000. So in order to calculate a proper percentage change, you look at the two numbers, the beginning number and the ending number, subtract each other, divide by the lower number, and that's how you get to 14%. It's actually 13.5%, so it's lower than that. But we have to be the biggest initiative we can push to attract and retain teachers is pay them what they owe, what they're owed, what they earn, what they're worth. Right? And we had the Vader pass this last year, which brought in an estimated additional $4.85 million to the district. If we were just to get our teachers up to the state average, getting them closer to where they could be, it would take about $1.9 million of that. 701 teachers, there's a $2,700 gap accounting for the money that we've already given them. $1.9 million should be something we can come up with.
Thank you. Okay, so Michael, you are, you go first this time.
Okay, this one.
Peter. Okay, so this is role definition. What do you see as a primary role of a school board trustee, and how does that differ from the role of superintendent? And so, Michael, you're first, and, okay.
The primary role of the school board trustee is obviously oversight of the school district at a high level, right? So we're crafting policy, managing policy. We hire one employee, we hire the superintendent, right? And we have her or he manage the rest of the staff, just like city council do most of the time. You have a city council, they hire a city manager, the city manager takes care of the rest. Same kind of concept with the school district, right? The school trustees should also be kind of the public cheerleaders for the school district too, out in the community, engaging with businesses and citizens on behalf of the school district, getting people excited and ready to motivated and ready to support the school district. It's pretty simple. Obviously, we control the budget, vote and approve the budget. Then, of course, taxes. And that's one thing I'm pretty committed to is keeping taxes low and lowering taxes. In the time that Mr. Senna has been on the board of trustees, never once have they pushed forward the optional homestead exemption that a district can implement. The district, without a voter approval, can implement up to 20% homestead exemption on top of your taxes already. So we could take a $500,000 house, which is getting $140,000 in homestead exemption from the state now, add a 20% on top of that, that's another $100,000, and lower your taxable value by $240,000. So I'm committed to not only not raising your taxes, but I'd be happy to lower taxes as well. And I grew up on the Bear County side of the line, so I lived in a house that was in Boerne ISD and in Bear County, so I understand my parents paid a tremendous amount of taxes. And it was crazy to see the tax bill, and I'm not a tax guy, I want lower taxes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And
Great. Okay, there's three primary responsibilities of a trustee. Hire the superintendent, approve policies, and be responsible for approving a budget and overseeing the finances. Let's talk about finances. Our district for 15 straight years has received a superior rating from the Financial Integrity Rating System of Texas. Recently, we were one of 34 districts out of over 1,200 in the state to receive an excellence award from the Texas Association of Business Officials for excellence in financial management and strong procurement processes. We routinely balance our budget while 60% of the districts in the state are running deficits. We're an A-rated district, and we do all that. And we have early college campuses, and we achieve all that on $3,000 less per student. We are fiscally responsible. Our board in the last year challenged the administration to identify efficiencies. We eliminated $1.5 million in administrative overhead. And where did that money go? It went to the classroom. There's only one candidate in this race who has a track record of improving teacher pay, whether it's promoting the teacher in retention allotment at the legislature, which I did time and time again, or the Vader, which improved the average teacher pay by $1,700. A 10-year teacher in our district now makes $64,000. A 15-year makes $67,000. So I think the $59,000, it's very, very much out of date based on what's been accomplished. And I'm the only trustee candidate who has actually produced lower taxes, which is why I've been endorsed by Senator Paul Bettencourt, who is the acknowledged property tax relief expert in the state legislature.
And so, Rich, you picked down. this one?
Okay, we're making good progress on this thing. Let's do lower middle, that one right there, Todd, you got it. Yeah,
Yeah, so that's
Okay.
like question 5.
you're doing a good job of managing this thing here, you know?
Now, listen, it's, they make us look good, and then, Dana Crone kind of was the fourth,
Set up the format.
Set up the format, and he did a great job with that, so
It brought us a long way.
he brought us a long way.
That looks like a long question.
25
Yeah.
here. And so
Comes
Rich,
from a
you're
resident.
first, yeah. And, this resident question, it says that VATRA, passed, but teachers were the least compensated. The superintendent received a $23,000 increase. Did some assistant superintendents and directors also receive substantial increases? The VATRA platform was to increase teacher pay. How is the money dispersed? Thank you. I was thinking of another word. Can a report be published as to where the monies were spent?
Are we ready to go?
Okay, go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, this is a lot of information to share. I'm happy to do it. Out of the $4.8 million, remember, 3 million of that was local tax dollars. The remaining 1.8 million was increased state aid based on the funding formulas. Out of that $4.8 million, 3.9 million went to compensation. Healthcare premium support, increased healthcare premium support was $500,000. None of our employee-only teachers saw an increase in their benefits program. We increased salaries for our auxiliary hourly workers to give them a living wage, $16 for teacher aides. A couple of years ago, they were at $11 an hour. That was $250,000. Paraprofessionals, our teacher aides, that was another $500,000. Teacher stipends. Previously, our special ed teachers never received a teacher stipend. Every other district in the area does that. They now receive at least a $1,500 stipend for being a special ed teacher. This helps retention of our teachers, and that was $430,000. Our central office received 66,000, which is 1.4%. Now, our superintendent and teacher pay was $2 million of that. Teacher, nurse, librarian was $2 million of that. Now, our superintendent did receive a $23,000 raise, 10%. She refused a raise in year one, very simply because she says, I do not want to raise until the teachers are taken care of. And the average teacher this year, between benefits and salary increase, got $7,000. Okay. Now, she remains the lowest paid superintendent of any school our size in Austin and San Antonio region, the lowest. Okay. And we're one of the only A-rated districts. So I think we can justify that. The money went where it said, promises were made, promises were kept.
Thank you very much. And so, Michael, on this,
Yeah, this question isn't much of a policy question, it's kind of a data question, and Rich was kind enough to pull out the same charts I was getting ready to pull up, so you can see the district did share kind of where the money was spent, it was on their social media. But I want to go back to kind of the conversation around the waiver. Rich characterized me as opposing supporting teachers and giving them raises. That's absolutely not the case. I did oppose the waiver. But I told Rich when he pulled me aside for a private meeting that I wouldn't publicly oppose it, and I didn't. What I do oppose was the tax increase, right? And you'll hear over and over again how your taxes went down. And the net effect is that most of your taxes did go down. If you have a homestead exemption, your taxes did go down. But that credit is due to the state legislature. The legislature worked their tails off to increase the homestead exemption, and that's what lowered your taxes. Meanwhile, while Rich was in Austin advocating for that homestead exemption increase, at the same time, he was at home in our district here advocating for a tax increase, not just advocating, architecting a tax increase. So while your taxes did go down, they would have gone down more. And and who didn't get a tax break was anybody that doesn't have those homestead exemptions, commercial real estate, businesses around town, all of those didn't get that same homestead exemption, nor will they ever, right? So their taxes have gone up, appraisals have gone up, everybody's paying more and more taxes. If we want to lower taxes, we can. If we want to not raise taxes, we can. We have to get more creative, we have to get more innovative, and we have to find ways to find more efficiencies that we need to work on and push that down towards our teachers. Start at a zero-based budget, and the first thing you fill is your teachers. At least get them to the state average. If not, make sure it's competitive. And I'm saying if not, you go above it, right? If you can't get them to the state average, you get them above the state average, so they're competitive with their peers in the area.
thank you. Okay, so Michael, you're the pick now.
Ooh, let's go for the far one. Yes, sir.
Question 6. This is another resident question. There you go. And, Michael, you're going first on this one?
Okay.
Okay, so the resident question is, why is work being outsourced by departments? Why is work, I did read these before now. Why is work being outsourced by departments such as bilingual and special education when the district has experienced educators to perform the work? Furthermore, what is the cost in contracting outside sources?
That's a fine question. That's kind of an internal question that the district should be answering, right? We should be able to ask the district that question. So I look forward to Rich's answer on this. I know from personal experience, the district outsources a tremendous amount of legal work. I've submitted FOIA requests that have been referred to outside counsel, multiple loops through that. I know other people that have done the same. And I've had people contacting me saying, how much does the district spend on outside legal counsel? Because they're seeing the same thing. They submit a Freedom of Information Act request, a public information request, and they get stonewalled by an outside legal counsel. When we have legal counsel on staff in the district. So why are we outsourcing that? Why are we outsourcing bilingual and special education programs? Is it because we can't keep teachers here because we don't pay them enough? Is it because they're unhappy? Is it because they're afraid to speak their mind? Is it because of the state mandates? There's a lot of questions in there, and whatnot. And so this is definitely something for the district to be answering. I look forward to hearing that.
And I very much,
Okay, hold on, you're fine. Hold on 1 second. Thank you.
And I very much look forward to answering this question. Yes, we did do a lot of outsourcing for special ed. We're obligated to provide these services. And unfortunately, we had significant turnover among our special ed teachers, which is exactly why we added a stipend starting at $1,500, going all the way up to $3,500, innovator that my opponent opposed. So part of the answer in recruiting is better pay, which is what we've provided. So between the teacher retention allotment of 5,000, which I worked extremely hard for, the Vader, which gave a $1,700 raise, the new stipend, which added more, a lot of our special ed teachers may have seen increases as much as 8 to 10,000. Now, when we changed the speech pathologist stipend by $7,000 a year ago, we went from many openings in that department to being fully staffed. So we have addressed, whether it's speech pathology, whether it's special ed, we've addressed those issues. As far as the property taxes go, even with the Vader, our average homeowner, $628,000 value, saw an $80 reduction in their property taxes. Senior citizens in our district saw an average reduction of over $600 in their property taxes because of the increase in the homestead exemption. I was one of 4 Texans out of 31 million people invited to testify for the increase in the homestead exemption. I did so, which is why I've been endorsed by Senator Paul Betancourt. We have reduced taxes quite a bit in this community, and I'm the only trustee candidate to have done that.
Thank you. Okay, so question number 7. Rich, you're first on this one.
Okay, how about top middle? That one right there.
Okay. I don't know why I decided to do it that way. Oh, there it is. Okay, so Rich, you're gonna be first on this, question number 7. And, community growth. With the rapid residential development in the area, what is your plan for balancing the need for new facilities with fiscal responsibility?
That's a good question. We had a bond election in 2022. They had added a new elementary school and added a new wing for the early college high schools at both Boerne High School and Champion High School.
Mhm.
The high schools were full back then. We could have talked about building a 3rd high school, but wow, that would have been brutally expensive, not only to build, but also to run. So to keep our operational costs down, we built a new wing at each school, which expanded their capacity. So we gave more academic options at about 1/8 of the cost of building a new high school. So I think we were fiscally responsible and educationally sound. Over the next 10 to 12 years, there are plans to build 7,000 new homes. That's not in new subdivisions. These are in current subdivisions currently building homes with dedicated water to them. So we are going to grow regardless. Now, we were proactive in planning for the future. We've got good capacity at our elementary, middle, and high schools. So I think we're in very good shape. I think in the next 3 or 4 years, we can wipe out a lot of the debt. We've refinanced debt at lower interest rates. We've paid off debt early. Instead of having 30-year bonds, we routinely pay them off in the low 20s, 25 years at most. And if you study that carefully, you will see over the next 2 to 3 years, 4 years, we will be in very, very, very good financial shape, as we are already, to continue to plan for the growth. So I think you need a good plan. I think you need to know the numbers. I'm very involved with our demographers reports, and I know every subdivision in this community and how many homes are going in. So yes, you have to be knowledgeable and plan.
Thank you.
Growth is one of those scary topics. You know, we always are looking at it, addressing it, and trying to figure out what to do with it. You know, I grew up here, and I remember driving down Main Street, Boerne, and thinking, well, there's nothing here, there's nothing here. And the first thing you'd come to on the left side was Frost Bank. Now we've got everything else lined up. And, you know, I've just seen neighborhood after neighborhood come in, and I love the new people here. I love meeting new folks, and I'm glad that they chose Boerne to live here. One thing we have to keep in mind, we have to just watch. Sure, we have a tremendous amount of rooftops coming in, but does that translate into more children in the district? You know, nationwide, we're seeing birth rates decline right now. So as these young families moving in, are they gonna bring kids to the district? One thing we have to watch too is if you pull up the district transfer reports from TEA, we see that we actually have more students transferring out of Boerne ISD every year than we do transferring in. Now, I'm not saying we're not experiencing growth. You can see the raw numbers we are. But so we have to address that. I'm not anti-bond. I'm not anti-growth necessarily, but I am anti-debt. I don't like debt. And I know it's necessary for the way school finance is structured in Texas. You basically have to take on debt in order to finance new facilities. But I'm all for exhausting every avenue that we can find to avoid that, push it off, right? If we can expand campuses like we've done, you know, when I was a student, no one was afraid of portable buildings. In fact, I kind of liked walking across the boardwalk outside of them. Felt kind of fun. And so exhaust every avenue we can find to avoid that, but at the same time, keeping an eye on those growth numbers and seeing where the trends are actually going.
Okay, thank you. Then, Michael, you're first this time.
I'll take the middle one there. Yes, sir.
So I think this will probably be the last question, okay?
Make it a good one.
Yeah. They're all,
Well, it's a shorter question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Not a half page.
yeah. Okay, here you guys go. Thank you. Okay, transparency. How do you plan to engage with parents and community members who do not have children in the school system? And so, Michael, you're first on this one.
I love this question because transparency is one of the biggest messages of my campaign. I am committed to being extraordinarily transparent. I'm committed to being accessible. I want everybody in the school district, whether you're a parent, a teacher, a student, or otherwise, to know how to get in touch with me and that I will listen. My phone number is published. My email address is published. I'm not hard to find. I'm around the community a lot. I'm involved in a lot of different organizations. I support a lot of programs. I attend a lot of events. People know how to find me. If you don't, my office is inside Dobbs Greenhouse. Come see me. I want to be accessible. You know, prior to COVID, the board members each had email addresses published on their website, on the district website. Now they don't. They have one email address that's filtered, that is shared with all of them. I want my email address published on the district website. I want people to know they can come to me, they can call me, they can text me, they can email me. I want them to know they're heard and that I'm listening.
Thank you. And then Rich. Oh, hold on, sorry.
Good question. Engaging with the community is something that I don't do just at election time. I live, quite frankly, for this volunteer job. I spend more time as a school board trustee doing the responsibilities that I've got than I do with my own business. I don't know the hours, but it's a lot. I go to a lot of community events. I go to a lot of civic meetings. I come to a lot of civic meetings in Fair Oaks Ranch because Fair Oaks Ranch is an extremely important part of our district. It's about a quarter of our district, but it's always been incredibly supportive of our district. And before Sarah Falkenberry got elected a year ago, and she's been an awesome trustee, I told Mayor Maxton, and I said, I'm going to appoint myself the Fair Oaks representative because we haven't had a Fair Oaks representative for a long time. So I go to a lot of the meetings, council meetings, community meetings where they show the plans for the future. And I like doing that. I like meeting with different groups. I don't have children in the school district right now, though my kids went through, but I've got two grandchildren coming up. But my attitude is I've got 11,200 children because that's the number of kids in our district. And I may know the names of only 500 or 600 of them, but you know something, they're my kids. They're all of our kids. And I think that's the attitude that each one of my peers has. Our superintendent has started a very good lunch series where she has meetings all the time with community members, those, their business people, and parents, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of ways of reaching out and communicating and touching base with people.
Thank you. And so that was the last question. And so now we're going to do the final
Yeah, it's like, go. You're good.
3 minutes?
That's what I was trying to figure
Oh,
out.
yeah,
It's-
yeah.
I
Oh,
think
it's for a
two.
2 minute, it's a 2 minute closing statement. Okay, y'all good with that? That's what I have there.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. And so, Michael, you're starting the closing statement on this since you went, and then Rich will follow you up
I
after.
wish I had Roland from Bernie Radio's voice. He does the 2 minutes, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
The Spurs games. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. So whenever you start, we'll start this. So.
Cool, thank you. I'll let you get that. There we go. First of all, thank you to those of you watching, and thank you again for setting this all up. I really appreciate the opportunity to come and speak and visit. I look forward to seeing the video posted online so we can share it with more folks. One of the questions we were asked recently was why you, why now? Why me, why now? I've actually been asked to run for school board for 20 years since I graduated high school. I got involved immediately after graduating with the naming of Champion High School. At the time, the district had decided to name it after Sam Champion, but they had only decided to name it Boerne-Champion High School. And so a group of us got together and said, that's not good enough. If you're going to name it after the guy, name it after the guy. And so we got yard signs made. We lobbied the school district. We sent emails. We showed up and spoke at the school board meetings. And we said, put his full name on there, Samuel V. Champion. And we won. We compromised, and now we have Boerne Samuel V. Champion High School. And I'm really proud of that. And so the ask came quickly after that for me to start running. And I said, no, I'm not doing it. I'm too young. That's crazy. I want to fast forward to last year. Late last year, the ask came up again. And I said the same thing. I'm not doing it. I'm not the right age. I'm not the right guy for it. I'm not me. And I was sitting in church, and we're going through Exodus, and we're talking about when Moses encountered the burning bush. And God told him, you're going to be the guy to lead my people out of Egypt. And he made 5 excuses. He said, I'm not the right age. He said, I don't know what to say. He said, I have a speech impediment. He said, I have a bad history. And through those 4 excuses, God told him, I'm with you. I'll be with you. You'll be fine. The 5th excuse was, I'm not the right guy. Find somebody else. And that moment hit me like a ton of bricks sitting in church. And that was the moment I decided I'm running for school board. So I appreciate everybody joining us tonight. Thank you guys for putting this together. And I look forward to seeing you at the polls.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you, Shelley, Todd, Teal, and Jessica, and all those that have taken the time to listen in tonight. I love Boerne ISD. I love our community. We're one community. Boerne, Fair Oaks Ranch, Bergheim, we're one community. And it's important that we maintain that unity. This in all likelihood will be my final term. And I really look forward in the next 3 years to mentoring the 4 trustees that we've got who are all incredibly strong people and wonderful trustees, but who have less than 3 years experience. And there's a lot of institutional knowledge that you develop over the time that I've been on the board. And I think that's institutional knowledge that's very, very valuable. It took us 7 years to win the fight to beat Robin Hood. We no longer send local tax dollars to the state in the form of Robin Hood. We've been sending $10 million a year, $500 per average homeowner taken from us and sent to the state. We won that battle. I was the leader of that fight out of the Boerne community in Austin for that. So I want to take my institutional knowledge and teach others. I've got the energy, I've got the commitment. I've dedicated my life to this district, quite frankly, and I love serving. It is an honor to serve, and I think my late parents would be very proud that their youngest child gave back in the way that they envisioned giving back to the community. And we live in the most beautiful community in the greatest state, in the greatest nation, in the only world that we know of. We are blessed to be living in Boerne and Fair Oaks, Texas. So thank you for your consideration, and I would appreciate and be humbled to receive your vote.
Okay, thank you. Well, thanks everybody who called in. We will, when we get this all loaded, up on our, Boerne page. And, I appreciate everybody taking the time this evening to be a part of this. And especially y'all, both of you guys, be a good race, solid. I mean, proud of this community. So thank you again. Thank you guys. Thank you, Todd and Jessica and Shelley for doing this too.
Thanks, Teal.